The title of the book is Tyrant, Shakespeare on Power. I have read this book and I like the book, and I want the viewers of Dharwad Katte also to read this book to understand Shakespeare both as an artist and as a playwright. I am not going to introduce the whole book to you because it takes pretty a long time. I am only here to discuss Stephen Greenblatt's views on Shakespeare's very famous Greek play Julius and Caesar. I would like to draw your attention to one of the statements that Greenblatt makes in his book. He writes, "There is one play in Shakespeare's whole career that features a systematic, principled attempt to stop tyranny before it starts." This is one of the finest statements that Greenblatt makes in his book, but I have a problem with this statement because I don't accept the statement. This is very debatable statement that he makes. He says that Shakespeare has not handled tyrants in his several other plays, histories and tragedies and so on, but he has succeeded in handling tyranny in Julius Caesar. But I don't think that Shakespeare has done this, and nor do I think that this is the aim of Shakespeare as a playwright in this play, Julius Caesar. And Greenblatt says this is a systematic, principled attempt to stop tyranny before it starts. I don't think that, I think it is neither systematic nor a principled attempt. I have a problem with Brutus. And why does Brutus kill Caesar in the play? I'm not talking about the historical incidents, the historical events, the historical facts. I'm only focusing on the play Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. And Greenblatt and several others say that Brutus is a principled man, and Brutus is a man of principles, and he is a political pundit, and he is a philosopher, he's a great friend of Caesar and so on. And I have a problem with Brutus and with these critical remarks. As far as I am concerned, Brutus is neither a political scholar nor a philosopher and nor a very, very matured social political thinker. And some critics consider Brutus to be the tragic hero. He is not a tragic hero because the manner in which he stabbed Caesar in the play is very problematic, and it doesn't have any moral justification. And Greenblatt says that Shakespeare stopped, rather Brutus stopped. Brutus, Casca, Cassius and others, they have stopped Caesar from becoming ambitious and from becoming a tyrant. And how do they say and how do they think that if they did not stop, or if they don't stop Caesar from becoming a tyrant, he will definitely become a tyrant. So my argument is, you cannot kill a person assuming that he might become tyrant tomorrow. And you handle him when he becomes a tyrant. You can kill him when he becomes a tyrant. And only on the assumption that he might become a tyrant and he might become a dictator, he might become a threat to Roman democracy, and I want to kill him. What is this? This is barbaric. This is barbaric. This is a cruel act, and this is an act which is morally, ethically incorrect and objectionable and problematic. So, I do not like this statement. He also writes Julius Caesar opens with the tribunes, Merulus and Flavius angrily trying to stop the commoners from celebrating Caesar's triumph over Pompey. And Greenblatt sees a point in what they have done. It's not because Caesar is going to become very popular, Caesar is going to get power, acquire power, and he might be declared king. And if he is declared king, he might create problem for others. So he should be stopped. So this argument itself is problematic and itself is not morally correct. And Merulus, Flavius are unhappy with the Caesar because they do not like Caesar's popularity, and they also do not like the way Caesar is becoming increasingly popular in Rome. And when he defeated Pompey the Great, and when he killed the Pompey the Great, and he has come back to Rome, and people gather in a big number in the marketplace all over Rome to welcome their general. And Brutus also says that I do not have any private reason to kill Caesar. It is for public that I have killed him. How can you kill a person for any reason? And that too when he has not become a threat to the people and to the nation. He says it's not that I loved Caesar less. It is that I loved Caesar more. It is a rhetoric. It's a statement. And it does not have any. It doesn't communicate anything. It doesn't speak about Brutus being morally correct. And in the beginning of the play, these two characters, Merulus and Flavius, go to the street and tell the people not to celebrate, not to spend their time. You go back to your work. So they see clearly that the mob's excitement around the general has dangerous political ramifications. This is his argument. So these two characters, Merulus and Flavius, they clearly see that the mob's excitement around the general, around Julius Caesar, has dangerous political ramifications, and they rush to pull down the decorations that have been hung on his statues. So this is not very interesting. This is very, very disturbing as far as I'm concerned. I'm really disturbed by these activities of these characters in the beginning of the play. And you can read the play in today's context. And we have seen people destroying statues of big people. It's not that they have some political reasons, some political agenda. They have only the personal agenda. So, I don't think that the increasing popularity of Julius Caesar has any political ramifications. And all the conspirators, including Brutus, have their personal agenda. They have their personal agenda. They are also ambitious. In fact, they are more ambitious than Caesar, because Caesar has not become king yet. And when he comes back to Rome after defeating Pompey the Great, people offer him the crown thrice. And he refused to accept the crown for all the three times. But Brutus and Cassius, they interpret this incident in their own way when they report the happening to Brutus. And let me read this dialogue. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. So Caesar is flying at a higher pitch. He is flying at a higher pitch. And we should read this play in today's context. And anybody, if any person is able to fly at a high pitch, people don't like it. You become if you are a teacher in a school, if you become very popular, forget others. Your own colleagues do not like you. They do not want you to become popular. They do not want you to get all the praises. They do not want the people only to praise you. If you become extremely popular in a university, in a college, your colleagues do not like you. If you become an able administrator, there are people who do not like you. If you become a wonderful politician, okay, and take steps in the interest of the in a state, if you become a very popular prime minister and take decision in the interest of the nation, then your colleagues may also not like you, and some people may not like you. This is human limitation, this is human problem, because I do not want my friend to flourish. I do not want my friend to become more popular than I am. So naturally, Casca, Cassius, Sidna, Brutus, several others, they are unhappy with the growing popularity of Caesar, and they do not want him to fly at a high pitch. So he says, these growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing. What should we do? He may fly. He may fly, at a high pitch. And we do not want him to fly at a high pitch. We want him rather fly at an ordinary pitch. And what should we do so that he cannot fly at a high pitch? We should pluck his feathers. His feathers are growing, and his growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness? We do not want him to become a very tall man, and we do not want him to sit on the throne, and we should, and we don't want to stand on the ground looking at him. So we do not want to be enslaved. And why should they think that they will be reduced to slavery if Caesar becomes the king? In any case, in a nation, only one person can become the king. One person can become a samrat. One person can become the prime minister. Not everybody cannot become the prime minister. Everybody cannot become the chief minister. You can have deputy prime ministers and deputy chief ministers, n number of deputy chief ministers and deputy prime ministers, but you can't have prime ministers. There should be one prime minister and there should be one king, and all of us should agree to accept him or her to be our king or to be our prime minister. And it's not that only in Julius Caesar we come across people who are unhappy with the growing popularity of Julius Caesar. And in a democratic country also, we do not want anybody to become very popular. It's not that the opposition parties target the politician who is becoming increasingly popular and who is becoming increasingly popular. No, it's not like that. Even his or her own partymen may also not like. This is possible. What I'm saying, it's possible. So, Julius Caesar is an interesting play by William Shakespeare, and we can read this play from several perspectives, and there are things which will disturb us, and every time I read this play I find a new meaning, and I find I get a new experience. So I read this play because I find a new meaning and I get a new experience.